We got a lot to do on today's show. Nick Wright is here to talk Bears, talk NFL. DJ Moore, we'll hear from him. Durham, Smythe, some other locker room stuff from yesterday. And those stadium renderings are out. We got to talk about this. We just do. CHGO Bears starts right now. CHGO Bears podcast presented by Bet365. Download that Bet365 app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment is never ordinary at Bet365. Not ordinary on the show today. Welcome in CHGO Bears podcast. My name's Adam Hoge. Alongside Mark Carman. There he is. And our guy, Nick Wright, joining us once again on the show. Nick, always great to have you. Thanks for jumping on, buddy.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me. How's it going?
Nicky, it's always a pleasure. And I do think, it would have been a little bit tough for you to come on the show at the start of the season because, everybody had buried the Chiefs. And you, of course, stayed firm. And now you got to win over the Ravens.
People are just so dumb. They're just so dumb. I know we're not here to talk the Chiefs, but you'd think 7 consecutive trips to the AFC Championship game and 5 out of 6 Super Bowl appearances would earn you 2 games of a benefit of the doubt, but evidently not. But now sanity has prevailed, at least temporarily. Good to see you guys.
I just figured I'd let you have that moment right there. And you for all us people that were perhaps like wondering, training camp up and down with the Bears, you were the guy that always said, Carm, Caleb will get there, Carm. Nope, this is more behind the scenes.
We can really, I want the audience to know this.
I'm starting to get more popular again.
Okay, here's the thing that I want. It is important that the audience, I think Hoge knows it, but I want the audience to know, Carm never, to the detriment of his own career at times, will go for the shocking take he doesn't believe. So when Carm was publicly flirting with the idea that Tyson Bagent might just be better than Caleb Williams, it wasn't to fire you guys up. It's because he thought it. And I spent a lot of time off the air with him. Hey, man, if you believe, whatever you believe, you got to go with. You got to go with what you believe. My personal opinion is, if you want to cast your lot in, you think Caleb's really going to struggle. I disagree, but I think it's on the board. If you're going to cast your lot in the parlay of Caleb's really going to struggle and the arm wrestling kid is going to be a superstar, I would maybe pause. I would really contemplate. I would really just slow down a bit. But I'm glad he's getting people back. I mean, he's the most likable man in the media.
Yes, he is. And Nick, we spend, as you can imagine on this show, plenty of time trying to analyze what's going on in this Tyson Bagent head of Carm's.
Yeah.
So I want to keep this more to your thoughts at this point on
sure.
Caleb Williams, because I know after that Monday Night Football game, I saw the clips, and you are a Caleb Williams guy. You've been somebody who believed, but it was completely reasonable for you and others to be like, I'm a little concerned here about what's going on.
Listen, here's I don't mean to interrupt, but listen, I am still, listen, I was wrong in that I thought he was going to walk into the league and instantly be good and then quickly ascend to very good and eventually ascend to great. Where my level of concern still exists, and it's not so much of a concern as much as it's just an acknowledgement, is I think some of the basics some of what's supposed to be the easy stuff is going to come slow to him. I think there is going to be some growing pains on some of the pre-snap stuff that we've seen and what I call some of the, the layups, the easier stuff, the throws that good NFL quarterbacks should make 19 out of 20. I think right now he might make 15 out of 20. And those, that's a big difference. And so that I do think is legit. But the reason I was so high on him initially and never wanted to, abandon fully is because I think you can learn that part of it. And the stuff he's great at, you can't teach. And so the comp I used with Colin the other day, even though there's such different players with such different pre-pro careers, is Josh Allen. Josh Allen, the first year and a half, was brutal at the easy stuff, way worse than Caleb, turned the ball over a ton, and was wildly inaccurate. But the stuff he was great at, it's like, you not only can you not teach it, like you just have to be 6'5". You have to be that athlete. You have to have that strong of an arm. And it's in a weird way, it's the same bet the Colts made on Anthony Richardson. Like, the traits are the traits. And so Caleb having those traits without them all being, I'm the biggest, strongest, fastest, to me was really encouraging. And now I think Ben Johnson is bending him on the other stuff. And so I still think it'll be fits and starts. And I think we saw it in week 4. Like week 4, he wasn't great, right? Like I know they won, fine, but he was fine. But it's like a stock that over the, it's the S&P 500 over the course of a year. You expect it to go up even if there are downturns. So I think it's going to be slower than I had hoped, but I still fully believe in the guy.
So, and then Ben Johnson obviously is a huge part of that, as you just said. What is the belief level in Ben Johnson? Because in a very short time, I will say we have seen, like week 1 was, I thought, a pretty good representation of what we saw in camp, which was a lot of just concerns at times.
Sure.
And the last 3 weeks, and granted, they got to play Matt Eberflus in that Dallas secondary last week, but it does seem like he's playing within structure and everything that Ben Johnson's trying to get him to do.
Yes. So listen, I think Ben Johnson will objectively be great for Caleb. I think Ben Johnson objectively is a great play caller. I think it's fair to say the jury is still out and will be out for probably 25 games on whether or not Ben Johnson's a great head coach. And so, because those are not all, Mike McDaniel's a great play caller. Mike McDaniel will be great for Caleb. I don't think Mike McDaniel's even a good head coach. And so like there's different pieces to it. I think I'm not gonna overreact to, and I apologize if I mispronounce the name, to the Aditi Kinbawala halftime interview, but I do think he's wound pretty tight. And I think that, that can be good. Hell, Dan Campbell's wound tight. It works out great. Where I worry about that is Caleb seems to be so on such an emotional roller coaster throughout a game. You know what I mean? Like one bad play can throw him off for a quarter. I wonder if a more kind of even-keeled personality could be helpful for him. And I just think there are parts of, I didn't kill him, but week 1, if I'm going to hire the young genius coach, then I need him to be able to clock in real time what I can clock in real time, which is it's not worth risking our kicker not being able to kick it through the back of the end zone because that puts it on the 35. All he has, and he doesn't even have to kick it out of bounds. All he has to do is tap the ball off the tee. That's a penalty. That's at the 40. You didn't land in the landing zone. That's at the 40. And now you keep the 2-minute warning. That might seem like, some of the listeners are like, I hadn't thought of that. I understand most people hadn't. I have, because that's how my brain works. And I would expect the super sharp young head coach to have that immediately. But this is his first game ever. So, you know what I mean? I still think he's the right guy, but I think he's also a work in progress. I think that's fair.
We don't have. We got 5 minutes with Nick, so let me just move around a little bit here.
Yeah.
5 minutes left. Let's handicap the division right now, Nikki. The Lions start out 0-1. People started at least like a couple of grains of dirt was thrown on them, and here they are at 3-1. And the Packers were crowned at 2-0, and now they've lost to the Browns on the road in a horrible loss, and they tie the Cowboys, who the Bears smoked. So it's a confusing start for the two that most people thought would be up top the division.
Listen, I crowned the Packers too early. And I called Jordan Love the most intriguing player in the league this year. And I stand by that because I understand the Packers defense was bad against Dallas. They've been awesome, though. That Browns game, the defense was phenomenal. Jordan Love lost it. The only thing he had to do is not throw that pick. He threw the pick. And then that Cowboys game, it was weird because it felt like LaFleur didn't trust him not to make a big mistake going for a touchdown. So instead, he was playing for the tie almost while also trying to prevent Aubrey from hitting a 75-yarder to beat him. And then Jordan almost blew it. Like they're very lucky that the Cowboys timekeeper is ethical, because in most road stadiums, that would have been a quarter, half-second delay, game over. And how did you blow it? So I don't trust the Packers quarterback, even though I like his talent. So I would handicap it as, at this point, Detroit is the true favorite. Green Bay is a clear 2, and I think Chicago's a clear 3. And I think Chicago has a real shot at the 7 seed. And then, the way I look at it, to me, I would be shocked if Eagles, Lions, Packers, Bucks, Rams are not in the playoffs. Though, you know what I mean? Those 5 teams, to me, I understand it's like, oh, those are the 5 favorites, but there's 5 favorites right now for a reason. To me, those teams are going to be there. And then those last 2 spots, Commanders, Bears, Atlanta, just because of the schedule, and then Seattle, and I think San Francisco, the injuries are going to be too much, but include San Francisco. It's those 5 teams for those 2 spots. Can the Bears, get one of those spots? I think that's a realistic. I think that's a fair goal. A fair goal, even in a tough division with a tough schedule.
For the record, if you're the timekeeper, you got to leak the seconds off before the final play. You know what I mean? You got to build it. There's one here, because they'll check it on the last play, but they won't check it if it's second and 10.
No, that's right. But I think the timekeeper at that point was thinking they might want to save time for Aubrey. Good point. Or maybe the timekeeper's just I'm just going to be ethical. I'm just going to do my job properly. But that's not really doing your job
Which
properly.
we don't have to get into more of Carm's takes.
You guys are almost at 90K subscribers.
I know.
That's awesome. That's really great. I'm not I hope that sounded as genuine as I meant it. That's really those milestones. And at 100, you get a sick plaque. For real. Yeah, you get a sick plaque at 100,000 subscribers, a sick silver plaque.
Well, and by the way, What's Right, the pod, which I listened to on the regular, 220K followers. Congratulations to you, Nikki, for just crushing it at all. Your gambling stuff, I don't know what you're doing over there right now. I don't follow this closely, but I know you're killing it. First things first, 3 to 6 Eastern, 2 to 5 Central. Incredible. Somebody just compared me to Kevin Wildes in the chat, which,
it's funny. They, we, in an alternate universe, Carm is Kevin Wildes. But around the time, we don't have to get into it. Around the time he could have been Kevin Wildes, I think he was in love with somebody. It just didn't, he didn't want to move to New York. It was a whole thing. But he has the similar look, similar affect, not quite as funny. But it works. But yeah, what else you got for me?
So he's my Kevin Wildes, is what you're saying.
Well, yeah. Is he the leader and star of the show? See, that's what I don't think. I think you. I'm not sure. I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna. We've done enough there already.
Yeah. Do one more for Nick Hoge, and then we'll let him go if you got one.
Are your Chiefs gonna still win the Super Bowl? Are they back now?
Well, they're certainly gonna. I certainly wouldn't bet against them. And I am really, really interested in what the offense looks like once Rice gets back. And what I will say is this. In the AFC, The Bills look great. Their defense stinks. The Ravens, let's say Lamar comes back healthy. Their defense stinks. The Chargers are, the bloom came off that rose a bit already. And the Bengals don't have a quarterback. So, I don't know who I'm supposed to be worried about in the AFC. And in the NFC, I respect what Philly's doing because I respect winning football games. Now, I'm old enough to remember last year when the defending Super Bowl champion was 4-0 with one-score victories and a blocked kick to win and this to win and that to win. It was a sign of, institutional rot. But that's because everyone gets their, jollies doubting the inevitability of the Kansas City Chiefs. By the way, the owner of the Chiefs on First Things First overtime later today with me and Danny Parkins, Chicago's own Danny Parkins, and I interviewing Clark Hunt later today.
I asked Parco to come on the show this week, and he denied me because of my QB takes and said he'll never come on the show again. So
here's the thing. Can I think that I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say here.
Yeah, be careful, please. I'm trying to get my.
No, I've got it. Here's the deal. Yeah. It is preferred. I'm going to keep my voice down because I'm literally in the studio. It's preferred that for any, outside media that we hit up, our PR person, give them a heads up, let them know what's going on, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And so doing things can sometimes be a pain. I don't really do that. I'm just I'm going to be fine. It's fine. I go on to my friends, no one's going, whatever it is. So it's I think there's a little extra layer of red tape for Parco that that exists for me too, but I just do it. Yeah. I'm like, I think they're okay. I've been in the company 9 years now. The only person here longer than me is Coward. The only FS1 person longer than Nick Wright is Colin Coward. We First Things First just had its 8-year anniversary. We just had our 2000th show. We're the 4th longest running sports TV show right now. It's insane.
Well, it's because it's a good show, Nick. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Where does this money go? I'm looking in the chat. These people are giving. Where does it go?
We've been trying to figure that out for 3 years. We don't, somewhere it comes back around. I will say YouTube does a nice job when we want to donate it to charity. 100% of the money does go to Big Brothers Big Sisters. But yeah, sometimes I do want to do the same thing.
Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's my charity of choice forever. Sorry, I'm rambling now. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe to the pod. What's Right with Nick Wright. And watch First Things First. We appreciate you guys. And Bears Commanders. Hey. Caleb better than Jaden. Take not dead. And those of us that were worried, hey, Jaden a touch skinny for tackle football. All of a sudden he's missing some games. I don't know. Take's not dead. Take's not thriving, but the take is not dead. It's a lie. Right. I'll see you guys.
Bye, Nick. Yes, and that's a wise word for you, Carm, with your early CJ Stroud victory laps and your Jaden Daniels.
No. Okay. Take not dead. It's true. Before we get too far away from that, I just want to shout out Nick, and I love having him on. And when I know we all do, but in 2009, when I got the job in Kansas City to be the update producer sidekick, which turned into Royals and Chiefs and all this stuff with Nick, and that's where we became friends and all the things. I was down there for 2 weeks. And I was like, and this is no shade at anybody here. I'm like, oh, this guy's the best dude I've ever heard doing this, period. So, and it was literally 2 weeks in and he was 27. And so the fact that he's been at Fox, the longest next to Coward is no surprise to Carm Takes. The guy, he's just very good at his job.
I think I had a similar reaction. I think the first time we ever had him on our WGN radio show a long time ago, before he was probably even at FS1, I think, when he was maybe...
Probably in Houston.
And probably in Houston, I think. And he came on our show, and I was like, that guy's way better than me.
This guy's incredible.
All right, so if you followed us over because of Nick, in case there's some of you, please hit that subscribe button. Like he said, we are very close to 90K. That is awesome. I hope to get there. Can we get there by the time the Bears play the Commanders? That would be awesome. I think that's on the table. We got the Cubs in the playoffs. Let's do this thing.
We can do it before then. That's in 2 weeks. Come on.
I know. All right. So do that. And also, if you want to become a diehard, we got a great deal going on right now. You 2 different level tiers depending on what you want. Our regular, I won't even call it regular level, but our normal level is $36 for 1 year, and you always get a free t-shirt when you sign up. 20% off all merch and events. But you can level up right now and get that sweet new branded Bills CHGO hat that came out. And that'll cost you $59 for your first year as a diehard. But on top of all that, you also get the 20% off I mentioned on merch and events and all access to all of our diehard content, which is Morning Carman, includes our insider analysis column, myself and Adam Johns looking back on the Raiders game. And I will talk about a little bit of that stuff coming up here too. I don't want to give it all away, of course, because it's for you diehards. And I know what you're asking. If you're already a diehard, you're like, can I still get that hat? Yes, you can. Use your 20% discount that you get. You can still pay. You can still buy it, just like all of the other merch that we have available for you. All right, we're late for a break. We got to check in with a couple of our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. We had a chance to go in the locker room yesterday. It was a fun locker room. I want to bring some of that your way coming up next, and we are going to get into some of this stadium conversation. We've been putting it off for a while, but now's the perfect time with the bye week. So we will do that coming up. But first, with the Bet365 early payout offer, you are a winner if your team goes up by 17 points with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections marked as winners. Download the app. Use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Thursday Night Football is always going to have a $10 safety net bet. Sunday Night Football is a $365,000 jackpot. Monday Night Football, a 50% super profit boost token on same-game parlays. Double your winnings on parlays with Bet365's 100% parlay boost. Breaking news from Bet365. Baseball playoff season is here. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. Sign up, use code CHGO365. Deposit 10, place a bet for 5. You'll get $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only.
And you know what's too soft? I hate to do this to myself, but yeah, that's right. It was me last night.
You are.
Last night on the tennis court, just came out slow, soft, didn't stretch well enough. If I had focused properly, I would have drank the soda that has everything that I need and doesn't just give you the trophy for showing up. That's right. RC Cola. It's not a soft drink. It's just damn good cola, and it's the original cola that doesn't fold under pressure like I did last night to Ray, although the pressure was off because I had folded so early. But RC is the OG cola in a world of spineless people who just didn't show up to play their match last night. Do yourself a favor. Grab yourself some RC at a local store. Stock up on all your football parties coming up here or whatever you're doing hanging out. RC is the move for whatever you are doing.
That was a roller coaster. And now you're muted too.
And now I'm muted. That's horrible.
Look,
sometimes you got to call yourself out for being soft. That's what RC Cola does for me. It makes me better. I love you, RC, despite the fact that was maybe not the exact read you wanted, but I thought it was a very good read because it underlines the fact that RC is what you need in your life. The original Cola.
Another question. Good tease on your part because I believe you tweeted out our show today. Why does it say "at the car might cry" at the end of the show?
Well, there's something that it's a sports cry. It's not nothing super serious, but I will talk at the end of this show. If you give me 30 seconds to talk about the breaking news that was in the sports world today that you don't know about, I will feel something. I don't know if I'll get to actual tears, but it touches me deeply. So,
okay. All right.
There's a tease.
That's a good tease.
There's a tease.
It's a good tease.
If anybody gets it in the chat what I'm talking about, I'll find something to give you somehow because that would be amazing if you know me that well.
Maybe an RC Cola.
Maybe a whole case.
There you go. All right. Well, before the break, I teased conversation with DJ Moore. Also talked to Durham Smythe about the task that was trying to stop Max Crosby on Sunday. So we're gonna bring both of those to you. Let's go DJ Moore first. He's had an interesting start to this season. This isn't a terribly long conversation. It was kind of the tail end of a longer group chat with reporters, but I managed a couple questions with him. So here is that exchange with DJ Moore yesterday in what was still a victorious locker room.
Past years, as I've been here, we've been losing those close games. So, I mean, that is a right direction.
I know Ben called it a culture win. Mm-hmm. Is that what it felt like to you?
Yeah, because like I just said, since I've been here, all the close games we done lost. Besides the Minnesota ones when we in Minnesota and we kicked the field goal. Besides those, I mean, we've been losing the close games.
Do you think too much is made about your role? I mean, do you like being moved around? And it's like as long as you get the ball at some point?
Yeah, I mean, my role is my role. I just go out there. If I get double teamed, I mean, we got one-on-ones on the other side with Rome and OZ. And I'm glad they've been eating because if they're doing that to me, then shoot, you can't guard everybody. And just moving around, I mean, just trying to find matchups and win on them.
The reason why I asked him that question is I personally, obviously, I asked the question, kind of feel like a lot of it's like too much of it is made. I know people like to read into DJ's body language at times. I think there are moments where that's been fair, like when he walked off the field in Arizona last year. I think that guy wants to win, though. He has been on a lot of losing teams, hasn't been in the playoffs, and hasn't had good quarterback play around him. And so, I mean, you can either buy it or not buy it, but and I'm not saying it's 100% one way or the other, but I believe DJ when he's a happy DJ right now. They got 2 wins. Are his stats incredible right now? Not really, but Rome's are, and he's still playing a very important role in this offense. And then I have a follow-up question in a second after you respond, Carm. It's really pointed at not you, but other people a little bit.
Well, so here it is. Wow.
It's your first show?
I mean, we just got these trees being chopped down outside this window. That's just...
We can't hear them. Just leave your mic on.
Right,
I haven't heard a single thing.
Okay, great. I'm getting a steady hum, but still good. I'm glad my mic is just this directed. Oh, you got me this mic, so that's great. You guys are like 4-year-olds. You add Katie to producing the show. Any comment that can be taken towards that, you find a way to hear it. I don't even hear it. But so back, more importantly, and I lost my train of thought, but to DJ's body language was my reaction to what you were just talking about, because that has gotten attention, maybe a little bit too much attention, but also fair attention at times too. I actually loved his body language with you right there. That was some of the best DJ body language. And to me, that matters because look, he has not won. He didn't win in Carolina. He hasn't won here. And at some point, it just starts to wear on you. I'm just talking about for him, not the Bears, leadership, anything, just him. And when you go from 7 wins and 1,300 yards to 5 wins and under 1,000, and then you start the season out 0-2 and you're not getting the football, I do worry about the Bears losing him and his mindset and where he's at. And it just seems to me that 2 wins coming back and Caleb playing better and Ben starting to land, all these things, I feel like DJ's in a better place than he was a couple of weeks ago. Doing my own read into it.
Did you also see the ISO video? I think the Bears were the ones that put it out. The ISO shot of Caleb during the block field goal.
Yeah, and DJ going up to him. I thought that was huge.
DJ was the first guy.
Yeah, I thought that was a big deal. Y'all get mad at me for like press conference read-ins. I thought that was a big deal. Oh, the number 1 wide receiver who hasn't gotten the football up is running right up to the quarterback. If he didn't like him, if he wasn't on his, if he wasn't in the foxhole with him, he wouldn't have done that, and he did. So I thought it was a big deal.
So that brings me to my next question, which is, why are people so eager to trade him right now? Like, I know the Bears. This is a rare time where I'll be a little critical, and I realize this is probably more all like fandom in general. It's not isolated to Chicago, but like we've been waiting for an offense here for literally my entire life. Can we now there's pieces here. Can we just keep them for 5 seconds, please, before we want to trade them? Like, I get that you want to take this guy and turn him into a pass rusher. The most important thing here is that Caleb Williams is good. Do not trade away weapons. Are you out of your mind? Like, come on. Like, he's doing DJ Moore is doing it a lot right now, whether or not he's getting the ball or not. He is lining up here. He's lining up here. He's lining up at running back. He's getting attention from opposing defenses. Is he playing perfect? No. Is he getting all the production? No. But just stop trading things, especially if it's on offense.
Well, look, I view it like this. There's nobody on this team that's untradeable unless you want to, say Caleb's untradeable. But obviously they're not trading Caleb. Like if the Bears could get what they considered a great deal for DJ, okay. But assuming that they're not getting some incredible deal, that they're probably actually getting 75% of him, then of course not. To your point, you're not going to subtract just because you have, in theory, a surplus at wide receiver. But I don't really see a surplus. Luther Burden's not ready yet. Olamide Zaccheaus is not a number 2 bona fide receiver in the game. He's a great 3. So let's not overrate the wide receiver room that we have this massive surplus that we could just dump DJ Moore. That does not add up to me at all. So, if they could trade if you told me they're getting Kayvon Thibodeau or somebody of that ilk, who's going to make a massive impact on the defense, or you're getting a bona fide left tackle for him, you want to make that deal. Okay. You save the money too, but the chance of that happening is pretty slim. And I think Slim's walking out the door, as somebody used to say back in the day when that was a relevant saying. Thank you.
Yeah. By the way, a little bit of news that affects the next game. Jaden Daniels was cleared today, so it looks like he's going to be back this week. They're heading west to go play the Chargers. So barring further injury, he should be returning. And the next question mark is Terry McLaurin. So we got a lot of time until then, but I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. Let's do this. We'll take another quick break, then we'll come back. I also talked to Durham Smythe about the whole Max Crosby thing, which was another thing I addressed in the insider analysis column today. We took a pretty deep dive at the offensive line, Carman, and where things stand. John's got some stuff from the locker room. And then I went through. Here's the thing about what happened Sunday, just real quick before we break. It's not like the Bears didn't have a game plan for Max Crosby. They had a lot of different game plans. They tried everything. He was that freaking good. And so in the insider analysis column, the film review I did this week was just kind of showing you all the different ways, triple teams, sliding the line that way, double teaming with the tight ends, which is something I talked to Durham Smythe here coming up about. Durham Smythe ended up playing a really big role in that game with Colson Loveland out. So that is all coming up next. But first,
a shout out to our friends at Prize Picks. It's simple to play. You just pick more or less on a 2 to 6 player stat projection. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. And Prize Picks puts their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Now, if you don't know how it works, let's say you're a baseball fan. You're looking at Cubs Padres today. Andrew Kittredge, he's starting more or less on 0.5 strikeouts. Supposed to pitch one in. You think he's going to get a strikeout in there? Then you would take more. If you don't buy it, you take less. What about Dylan Cease? He's got 6 on his number today as the former White Sox trying to take out the Cubs today. 6, more or less. You put those two together, you get it right. Next thing you know, you're living the dream. Hey, download the app today. Use the code CHGO to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right. Download the app today. Use the code CHGO. $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to our friends at Prize Picks.
And Chicago Sports Network is the official TV and streaming home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, broadcasting over 300 live games per year. That's right, Carmen. I was watching preseason hockey. James was watching preseason hockey. Connor Bedard had a sick spinorama pass across the ice to Ryan Donato at the finish the other night. Nobody was talking about it because it was preseason hockey, but I was watching. I was watching on CHSN. It was awesome. CHSN offers the all-access plan. That's $30 a month. Gives you access to all the games and programming on the network, and individual team plans start at $19.99 a month. That gives you access to the games of the team you select. You can sign up to watch CHSN at chsn.com, or you can watch via the CHSN app, which can be downloaded on Apple and Android devices, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, and Samsung TV. CHSN is also available on Xfinity, DirecTV Stream, and Fubo. Visit chsn.com for more details. By the way, I should not have said that nobody was talking about that, because, of course, that's what we do at CHGO, and our CHGO Blackhawks podcast, of course, was talking about it. Also talking about Colton Dock's nice goal last night, which is about all there was to talk about positively in that game. But that's what we do here at CHGO. We take the team that you care about. That's why we're here every single day, and that includes the Cubs coming up live watch along. We're actually going to get off at 2:05 for that watch along to get going, and that's coming up right after us here on CHGO.
Yeah, and there's no better way to support us if you enjoy the program than becoming a diehard. And we try to make it, you get 10 times the value for doing it. So if you are a diehard, you can pass it along to somebody else who loves sports content like this. We appreciate that as well. And thank you. And by the way, I don't want to give away anything, but yes, the chat has gotten it correct onto what you'll feel a little emotion for Carman after the 2 o'clock overtime when we head into it. So good job there.
Okay. I still don't know, so that's good. All right, let's hear from Durham Smythe. I had a chance to talk to him in the locker room yesterday, a very jubilant locker room about Max Crosby. But also, keep in mind, Durham Smythe's been in the league for a while, and I thought he also had some good perspective on what's building here in Chicago. So here's that conversation.
I'm sure you knew going into the game that you're going to play a large role in trying to contain Max Crosby, and especially with Colson being banged up a little bit. Just how much kind of went according to plan, and then how much was sort of on the fly as the game unfolded?
Yeah, obviously with a player like that, you game plan for him. You have to, or else he'll completely wreck a game. So a lot of that was game planned in, but then as the game kind of goes, and obviously he makes some plays here and there, which is always going to happen with a player like that. You got to kind of adjust some things so you get forehands on him as much as possible. And so I guess at the end of the day, it was a little bit of combination of both.
Did you guys come out of it overall pleased? I mean, I know he kind of was wrecking the game at times, but I mean, you got the win. Did you feel like the adjustments were enough when it was all said and done?
I mean, I think so. When you look at it, from start to finish, obviously he made a couple absolutely nuts plays where you're watching the film and you're like, I don't understand how that happened. But that's going to happen with a player like that. I think he's one of, if not the best defensive player in the NFL. But overall, to come out with a win is nice, and to kind of mitigate after a couple of huge plays he made in the first half, to mitigate it a little bit, take that as a little bit of a win.
I noticed even rewatching the game, like there were some times that you and Cole, you sort of were the protection against him. You doubled him. How did those reps go? And I don't know, is that fun when you get two tight ends just trying to take care of one of the best pass rushers in the league?
Yeah, that's another deal where it's, forehands as much as possible on a guy like that. And it's, when we have combinations sometimes with tight ends and protection, sometimes some of them, one guy gets out after you secure it. But the guy like that, you talk to each other before the game and you're like, listen, we're going to hang on this guy for as long as possible. So that's just kind of the thing, you talk about, and you do, the best of your ability to get him stopped.
As long as you've been in this league, but being new here in Chicago, what are the vibes like 4 games in? Like, how are you feeling about your role, the offense, and how it's all, like, just the direction it's going in?
Yeah, I mean, the vibes here are great. It's fun to come into an organization at a time when a new staff comes in. Things are on the rise. Obviously, we're 2-2, so there's a lot to clean up. Obviously, a lot to clean up offensively. But when you're at the kind of the beginning of this, trending upward, a younger team, it feels pretty great. And like I said, obviously, there's a lot to clean up on both sides of the ball. But with a team like this, that's as excited as we are, as confident as we are, it's really exciting to be a part of.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the time.
Good timing on the vibes are great, and then a bunch of players screaming in the backfield because the vibes were great in that locker room yesterday. They were still vibing pretty good going into the bye week.
How are the vibes in here? Yeah, they're very good, Adam. We're having a party in this locker room like we've been having a lot. And imagine what the party will be when they get over 500 and, I don't know, win a playoff game and all the things. That was a very, it's the first time I've heard a one-on-one with a Durham Smythe. He's a very focused individual. It was a good job by you there, Hoge. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the first time I've had a chance to really talk to him. Certainly, other than I think he maybe had 1 or 2 press conferences, maybe when he first got here. But he had a big role in that game, and they had. I'll give you one little teaser too. That was interesting. One of the adjustments, and they did this in the first half too, but it seemed like they did it more in the second half. Even though Max Crosby was lined up over here, like over the right tackle, they were pulling Joe Thuney a lot to help. So they would like send the line left and have Thuney pull towards Max. And that proved to be a pretty effective strategy. I thought that was interesting because, of course, Joe Thuney was in the AFC West before, played and, was in those O-line meetings, game planning for Max Crosby a lot over the years. So I didn't get a chance to talk to him yesterday, but that was another thing I was wondering, just, was that a Joe Thuney creation a little bit?
Shout out Joe Thuney. Everything's a Thuney creation, Hoge.
Well, and not to tease one more thing, but we had Kevin Clark on Hogan Johns this morning, and he told a great story about Trey Smith and Joe Thuney. So you might want to check that out because, I mean, Joe Thuney's just the epitome of consistent and has been so far through 4 games for the Chicago Bears.
And shout out Motor Music, Michael. Just Motor Music, while you're at your lunch break right now, just know that as much as I'm enjoying being here with Adam Hoge, I'd rather be in Vegas with you. You were good times. So until the next one, my brother.
No, we definitely had a great time with Motor Music, Michael, and we moved the show back to 1 o'clock today, just for you, buddy. we got to keep on your schedule.
We did.
Yeah. All right. It is time, and Greg's not here to whine about it. We're going to talk about these stadium renderings that are out there. I do have some thoughts on them, and we're gonna go through what we're seeing here because it's just time. Before we do that, one more break. We'll be right back after this. Hey, I want you to check out Monarch Money so that you can feel organized and confident in your finances. When you go to Vegas for a weekend, you need to get logged back into your Monarch Money, as I did yesterday. Make sure everything's in order because it's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean interface on your laptop or your phone. And right now, just for our listeners, Monarch is offering 50% off your first year. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. So if you've been putting off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. You can categorize literally anything in here. It's got some smart categorization there for you. But if you have something specific, like, you were at the sports book in Vegas and you have the extra thing you put on Kansas that didn't work. Hey, create that category if you need to. Monarch lets you do it all, but keeps everything organized for you. It was named the best budgeting app of 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code CHGO at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code CHGO.
Nothing better than getting those finances in order. Thank you to Monarch Money, and thank you to our friends at Game Time. The Game Time app gives the advantage back to the fans. It is the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences. And if you are watching right now and you're thinking about going to Cubs Padres, unbelievable ticket prices right there on the Game Time app right now. $97 to sit in section 223, row 13. That's a great seat in between home and first. Unbelievable. That's why you do it. Game Time. Snag new ticket deals before anyone finds out by following your favorite teams in the Game Time app to receive the alerts. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets, MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your purchase. Again, create an account, use that redeem code CHGO, $20 off. You tap, you ticket, you go. Download the Game Time app today.
Seen a couple notes here on Twitter to share with you. Jesse Rogers says, getting ready for game 2 between Cubs and Padres. By the way, our watch along coming up right after this. Make sure you're watching our Cubs crew throughout game 2. Says Andre Dawson's throwing out the first pitch, Carm. Caleb Williams and Roma Dunze will be in attendance from the Bears, as will Connor Bedard from the Blackhawks. And I'm offended that he left out that week 4 hero Scott Daly will also be there.
Yeah, that's just wrong. Daly deserves top billing.
Right.
I mean, we're Talk about the people that make things possible.
Well, the Bears were originally going to practice today, and Ben Johnson changed that. So I don't know if Ben Johnson's going to the game too. We'll find out. But I know a number of the players were very excited that I believe they only had a lift this morning and they could go down to Wrigley for game 2. So very, very exciting. We'll see if the Cubs can finish off the Padres today. And we're going to be covered with the watch along on CHGO as well as post game as soon as the game is over. This is the place to be. All right. These stadium renderings came out for what felt like the 898th time. But I guess the one of inside the stadium might have been new. I don't know. I can't keep track of this. We're in football season, but it's time now at the bye week to take a look at these. So, Katie, I know I sent you a bunch of different stuff. Let's go through the renderings that came out. Architect David Manica, who is the same architect that did Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, where we literally just were a couple days ago. So welcome to Stadium, guys. Big glass entranceway. The original rendering when this was downtown, actually, it was more glass, which I want to get into in a second. You flip to the next one. I don't know where the hell anybody's going to park, but
in the lagoon.
Yeah, with I'm sure they'll add all that later. Big circular stadium, and the inside, which I thought Adam Johns did a good job of just tweeting yesterday, looks exactly like where the Bears played on Sunday. Not exactly, but pretty darn close. So there it is. That's an actual picture of Allegiant Stadium that I took. Maybe we could just cycle back and forth between those two. I mean, seriously, there's the fake Bear Stadium. Here's the real Raiders Stadium. It's very, very similar, except Carm, we were talking off air. One of the things that you noticed that I also noticed, there's way more like stacked suite levels, it looks like, in what the Bears are proposing on both sides. Not enough seats to me.
Yeah, so if you go back to let's do this in real time again here, Katie. Let's go to the Bears Stadium, and there it is. And you see, like, behind the end zone where I'm looking on the far end, you've got the seats on the 100 level there, let's call it, and then you've got the whatever that is, a bridge and glass. Now, if you go to the Raiders Stadium, you have the 100 level, and then you have the 300 level there, or 200 level, whatever you want to call it, as
200 and 300 level, yeah.
Right, for fans. And so there's more seats behind there, and then you've got the glasses. So, like, if you go back to the Bears Stadium along the sides, like, those just look like there's the 100 level, suite level. I see 4 suite levels, and then the top. So it's not enough seats, in my mind, at least, closer to the field for the fans that can actually afford it. Because you know that those 100 level tickets, I think the worst thing about this for the standard fan is that the 100 level, you figure with the pricing, that's going to be corporate central. That's who's going to be buying, that's going to afford those tickets with the PCLs, whatever they're going to charge. So the real fans, that's a long way up, man. And I love football. I sat in the press box in Vegas, and we were at the very top, and you have a phenomenal view, and you don't need to be close for football. But I still would like to see the fans, not just the rich fans, have a little more access to feeling closer to the field. So I'm going to fight that fight here. And how are they going
to? I think it's a good fight, and I think there's a couple things. Here's what I'm disappointed in, and part of it, I think, is just we've been, especially like maybe emotionally damaged here in this city with the stadiums that we screw up and don't get right, but especially when it comes to the Bears. I mean, we can also get into some of the money stuff. We don't have to do that, but I already saw some stories about the money and how they're asking for $855 million now in infrastructure, which I believe is more than this Soldier Field renovation even cost.
I mean, they need some good pipes to get that the plumbing situation orchestrated in the way that it needs to be orchestrated for the bathrooms to operate. So $855 million seems like a fair price for that. I'm kidding, but
yeah,
it's a lot. But it's interesting though. And Hoge, you've been dialed in on this more than I have on the back end of it. Is that going to fly? $855 million?
Well, that's I want to keep this conversation more to what these renderings look like and what the stadium looks like, because, but
I know, but
I don't know. I think it's very questionable that they're going to get this thing to pass next month, or now this month. It is October, but that's why this stuff's being pushed on us now.
Yeah, look, and go on further. Kevin Warren, this is your baby. Make it your baby. Don't make it Las Vegas's baby. You know, let's get cool.
And so can we show I'm sorry, can we show the outside version again, the one where you could see the whole stadium and then 0 parking lots? Okay, it's fine to me that there's nothing about that stadium that, I don't know, it looks like it's from Star Wars or something. Like, what?
That does look like the Millennium Falcon right there in the middle.
Which is what people say about the Vegas stadium too. I just, to me, there's nothing unique about it. SoFi is unique. It's, you go in it and you're like, wow, I've never been in a stadium like this before. And then what's kind of stunning to me about this, and we've talked about this a million times, and I'm going to show you some photos of US Bank Stadium here. US Bank Stadium is awesome. Everything about it is awesome. It's loud. It looks cool. It's unique. The views inside are great. It's bright. So one of the things I do like is in the renderings we've been showing, they are doing like sort of the transparent roof to allow light in, brightness. I'm going to quibble a little bit. It's making it bright. It's not actually natural daylight, though. And I'm going to show you the difference here. And I felt the same way when we were in the Raider Stadium the other day. I like that it was bright because there's too many of these older domes that just are dark and dingy, and they'll look the same on TV, too, which matters. But the US Bank Stadium lets natural daylight in. So let's go through some of these photos. Okay, we can kind of do it, I guess, in any order, but maybe... So yeah, here, if you look at the way it's designed, the one half of it is actually more covered and kind of dark, but the other half, if Katie, the next one we can show is actually go back to the Raiders photo that I sent you. So look at how in the Raiders one, where the end zone glass is clear, you can see clear blue sky, but the roof is just sort of 40% transparent. I don't know what it actually is, but it's letting in some light, but it looks more like the old Metrodome with like the white bubbly roof rather than natural daylight. Go back to the Vikings one though, and I actually know some of this about these panels. That is 60% transparent, and you see how you can actually see clouds? You see how you can actually see blue sky? To me, that matters. That is why when you're inside that stadium, you feel like you're still outside when it's 5 degrees out. So I have some other photos here of the actual paneling, because I took a tour with my son a couple of years ago in Minnesota. That is the actual paneling that is in the roof. And you can see it's like, I don't remember the exact material, but like when things hit it, it bounces off. And it's a little bit, I left my son in one of those photos, so even though he's bending down sort of for scale. And it's just different when you're in there. You feel like you're in a unique stadium when you're in there. And can we show the Super Bowl photo too? Because I covered the Patriots Eagles Super Bowl. This is at 3:00 in the afternoon. I even checked the time my phone took this photo. It was 2:57 in the afternoon. Look at that natural sunlight that's coming in on half of the seats. Even on a day in February where the sun's going down pretty early, and I think it was 5 degrees outside, you're in this nice warm stadium with actual sunlight coming in. That is not what they're showing in these renderings with the Bears. And look at that glass, the end zone glass goes way higher in the sky, and those doors, people don't realize, behind where it says US Bank Stadium and the Jumbotron back there, where the big banner is of Tom Brady, there are these massive, like 5-story doors that actually open and let in air from the outside when it's nice out in September, and even if you have a nice day in October, like we're going to have this weekend. So that is like a unique thing that they did in Minnesota that was different from any other stadiums. I'm not seeing that with these renderings the Bears put out. It just looks like a cookie cutter 2025 NFL stadium that looks exactly like the Raiders one. And Carm, I don't know how you felt. I know I'm talking a lot right now, but inside that stadium the other day, and that's the second time I've been there, actually technically the third, because we covered media night in there when for the Super Bowl, but not the game. It's fine. You're in that. It's fine. It's an okay, sort of cool stadium. I don't think it's going to age as well though as US Bank Stadium and SoFi in LA as well.
Yeah, I think the operative word is fine. It's fine. And my experience being there was a fine one. Like, but there's no, to what a little wasted is saying, a man of supreme character. He's right. There is no character. 0.0. And what's kind of bizarre to me, just trying to figure out how we got to this point, Kevin Warren, you did Minnesota. You saw how cool that is. Like, don't you want to bring that here? Bears fans would love that. And I love like in that photo, like the upper end zone corner, insane, terrible, but yet amazing seat, like up there by the paneling and the sun. Those seats look amazing for the diehard to go up there and have some RC Colas and Miller Lights and whatever else and have a great time and be, close to God up there, the God of football. So, look, I know you still got time over there, Bears. Do something cool. Your fans deserve it. You deserve it. The McCaskies deserve it. The next generation of McCaskies, do it for them. I don't know. This is, it'll be, everybody knows that no matter what the stadium is, they're going to show up and it's going to be sold out and they're going to pay ridiculous prices and everyone's going to pay by that point $22 a beer and all the things. But it'd be cool if it was cool.
Couples comments here too. Motor Music Michael said it looks like a vacuum robot. It does kind of look like a Roomba.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with his other comment too. Make a stadium architecture that represents the Chicago skyline or the history of industry. Nothing in that screams Chicago. It screams Vegas Stadium. Philip had a comment to a couple. I forget what it was, a couple though, but I wanted to respond to it too. There was whatever he said. We just had it up. I lost my train of thought. But look, I will say the Raiders Stadium. The one piece of thing where you're in there and you're like, I'm not going to get this anywhere else, is that glass in the end zone with the fake flame. It does look right out the Luxor and the New York, and you could see the Vegas Strip behind it. Like, okay, like I'll give them that. But other than that, the rest of the stadium is just, it's a room stadium. Like Little Wasted said, a room stadium.
Yeah. And a lot of people do the cookie cutter stuff too. Like if I go back to the NBA, like when Indiana built their thing, they did Gamebridge Fieldhouse. They made it cool, man. They thought outside the box. Bottom line, and also in the Minnesota thing, you have more seats on the side, and the two sides were different. I don't know. I'm gonna remain optimistic that this is not done, but it feels done.
Well, what you just said is important, though. Okay, here's Philip's comment. He says they need to dig down 3 stories and build up 5. Won't look so big outside, and it'll be a hell of a game atmosphere. That's what they did at SoFi. If you walk up to SoFi, it doesn't look like it's that tall. You just sort of see this big canopy that's very unique. Again, I'm going to keep using that word, unique. You don't see that anywhere else. You see it in LA. We don't need a copy that, like, exactly. But you walk in, and I think you're actually on like the 300 or 400 level when you walk in that stadium, and you get to the edge and you look down and you're like, holy crap, that goes down forever. And it's a super cool way to walk into a stadium.
And look, just in general, and this might be an unpopular take, but in Chicago, we've just done a terrible job with stadiums. The only thing that's good that's happened here in my lifetime is that Wrigley Field has stayed and they renovated it. And as much as I missed day baseball when I was for the real old hats here, they did a great job putting lights on, and then they did a great job putting suites in there. And I don't even mind the scoreboards or anything. Like Wrigley Field is Wrigley Field, but the United Center compared to Chicago Stadium sucks. And Comiskey Park, Rate Field compared to Old Comiskey ain't the same. So like it's just we haven't done it, and people hated on the new Soldier Field. That's actually the best job that anybody's done. As bizarre as it was, at least it stayed in the lakefront, and you had the columns, and you had this spaceship thing for people to talk about. And there's not a bad seat in that place.
All right, don't go ahead. We're gonna hit overtime. We got something special to share with you here. All right, overtime here on CHGO Bears. And one tiny little thing too, because you hinted at it. Like, I promise you that Viking Stadium has plenty of suites, because the suites are important. It's huge for corporate.
Of course,
are built into the stands that are already existed there. They're not so. The way that the renderings came out, it's like stacked, like almost like a 4-story building of suites. It reminds me of San Francisco or Santa Clara, the 49ers stadium out there, how one side of it just, I don't know. I'm not just kind of really disappointed with it. All right. Well, appreciate everybody hearing me out on the stadium stuff. I care about it a lot, and I want them to get it right. Anyway, there was something that we wanted to share with you tonight in case you're interested in. This was this sounds actually kind of cool, because we always love to talk about this. One of our favorite games ever, the 2026 comeback win over the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. The "they are who we thought they were" game. Our guy Kyle Brandt and Omaha Productions, they always do great stuff, hilarious stuff. They have this new series coming out. It's a new Manning cast style series from Vice Sports and Peyton Manning's Omaha Productions behind this. They've been doing this show where it's called NFL Classics After Further Review, where they go back and they basically rewatch a game, and they talk about it as it's unfolding, kind of Manning style, Manning cast style. So airing tonight, October 1st, tonight, as we're recording this, at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern on Vice TV. They got an episode featuring Kyle Brandt, Sebastian Maniscalco, Chicago comedian, hilarious, and Brian Urlacher. And here's a little snippet from what you're going to see tonight if you tune in.
But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Sebastian, he's just cooking up there. What is it like to watch that for you?
Hey, listen, I like when people have raw emotion. I'm just trying to figure out, still to this day, they are who we thought they were. Who did you think they were? Who are they? Do we know? Do we have any confirmation on this?
They beat us in the preseason game 3, Sebastian. So I think he thought that they thought that we were that team that they beat in the 3rd game of preseason. Does that make sense?
That's it.
Nah.
I guess the regular season.
Unless you have a total command of the Arizona Cardinals preseason in 2006, it's nonsensical.
There you go.
But Brian gave the best explanation I have heard.
NFL Classics After Further Review. Wednesdays at 9, only on Vice TV.
So again, that episode airing tonight, if you want to check it out, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Should be fun. I love that game, so I will. I'll be checking it out. It's good stuff.
Yeah,
I love how Sebastian asked that question, because it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense as much as we talk about it.
I love Urlacher raising his hand there and answering the question. And Kyle Brandt's awesome. That thing's going to be fantastic. And for those listening, by the way, if you're not a subscriber on YouTube, we're 738 away as we're putting on our screen here. So we're closing in. If you're not a subscriber, Monday through Friday at noon or 1, it's been moving around a little bit with, Ben and the new schedules here, but we're on every day. And then, of course, Monday, pre and post game after every game and breaking news, turn those notifications on. That's going to be awesome. All right. You want to hear my tearful goodbye here?
Yes, I do. All right, let's go.
So, I grew up playing all sports. But my family was always big into tennis. My brother played in college, and, McEnroe and Lendl and all that was on the TV. And it was always I just didn't really know that going to the US Open was something that was actually pretty damn affordable to do. But I figured that out in my mid-30s. So I've been going since 2013. And I've seen a ton of great players, 3 feet in front of me, but no one has ever caught my just enjoyment, who I've looked forward to seeing every year, more than Gael Monfils, the Frenchman, who's been doing it since 18 and now 39, oldest guy ever to win an ATP tournament, older than Federer. I got up to number 6 in the world, made the semis of a bunch of Grand Slams. Monfils, Hoge, was the greatest entertainer, competitor, just so much fun to watch, leaping through the air, through the legs, just, you think the points over the whole thing, and like just on your feet rooting for a guy. I'm going to miss him. So this is his last year. He announced he's retiring this year. We'll see him one more time, but and Pochanton, you got it right. Gael Monfils is one of the greatest sports entertainers I've ever witnessed in my life, and a phenomenal dude. It's a lot of heartfelt things, and I'm going to miss watching that guy play. So this feels like a little part of my tennis childhood. It's going to pass away here at the end of 2026. And now I held it together pretty well, but I love you, Gael. You're the man.
You did. And that's very heartfelt, and I could tell that really matters to you. That's awesome. Now for the rest of us that have no idea what you're talking about, I thought he was dead the way you were just talking.
No, he's not dead.
I thought we're going to miss him. I'm like, oh no, he's gone.
Well, he's not dead. He's going to go on and do a million great things, but it's a sports death. When they retire, get to,
just the way you set that up. I was like, what happened?
Oh, my bad. Well, no, he ain't dead. He's just retiring. But that's it was a ton of fun. I loved it. So go Cubs, go indeed. Apostle, we can get on out here, but shout out to Monfils and all the tennis fans out there that are feeling the same way as I am today. I think there's at least 3 of them in this thing. My guy Callum Turney, who hooked me up with the Wimbledon tickets. If you're still out there, I know you share what I'm thinking.
All right, we got to get over to the Cubs channel. Actually, I think the watch along's right here on CHGO. So don't just flip on over to that link. The watch along going for Cubs Padres game 2. Caleb Williams in attendance, Roma Dunze in attendance, Connor Bedard in attendance. Cubs got to win. They just do. Hey, real quick though, make sure later on in the day after all the Cubs stuff, and make sure you watch Cubs post game. Please hit the subscribe button here. You can head on over to the Hogan Johns channel or check out the podcast. We had a great conversation with Kevin Clark and from Omaha, by the way, and also we just did a really sort of more in-depth dive of where Caleb Williams is at here after 4 games. Going into the bye. And yes, we need to get super chats. Carman V's on tomorrow's show too. I should mention that right back here, 1:00 on CHGO Bears.
Let's go.
We did not forget about supers. We kind of did for 2 seconds. Let's get to them though. Whatever order you want to throw them up. There we go. Brandon Towery, $10. Sorry for the negativity lately. Just frustrated with the Bears. LOL. Y'all are doing great, and your Vegas coverage was top notch. Bear down.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon.
You're the man. You don't have to apologize for anything.
Matthew Gregory, $10. Nick Wright at CHGO is the greatest thing that ever happened to Matt Gregory.
That's very nice of you, Matt Gregory. I know you're a big Nick fan, and we appreciate your support, brother.
Yeah, that's awesome. We love having Nick on the show. Now we got to get Danny on to forget Carman. Get him on. Donnie, R578, $2 is at Nick Wright. Carm, Goat, Jordan Goat. LeBum has 3 fake titles. Just taking shots at Nick. Love it. And Craig Leach, our guy Craig, $20. Hi, CHGO. It's been a great bye week so far. High spirits are abound.
Leach with the new avatar.
Yeah. The intense Ben Johnson. And Bragg's in the stands, $2. Just missed a hole in one by inches at Bally High. Nobody cares. Hope you're having a great week.
As if we're supposed to know what Bally High is. Settle down. Congratulations on hitting a good shot, though. That's fantastic. We're proud of you.
He didn't say how many inches. It might have been 130, but...
I mean, he posted a photo of him smoking a cigar overlooking some pool, said he's not coming back. So, I'm assuming he's not coming back.
You promise?
Are you sure? Because we'll organize the party if you are.
Bro, delicious $5. If the new stadium looks like the Millennium
Millennium Falcon.
Okay, they're in there.
That's funny, bro. Delicious. If the new stadium looks like the Millennium Falcon, they should replace Staley with Chewbacca. Chewberka.
Chewbacca. It's good. Chewbacca. God, I hope they fix that stadium. I am. Just get rid of the roof then and build what they have in Tottenham if that's what you're gonna do. It's just okay. On to the Cubs. Go Cubs, go!
There it is.
Go Cubs, go! We need
Cubs.
you to win a playoff series so we can keep having more shows. All right.
Go Bears. I mean Cubs.
Bye. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here. 1 p.m. CHGO Bears. Carman V joins the show. Pat Norton's going to be around too. We'll talk to you then.
We all silly like the mayor.